Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. Africa, tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. America, tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze.
You are listening to African Father in America podcast by Simon Javan Okello, live from Seattle, Washington, USA.
Thank you so much for joining me for the first daily African Proverbs here on Clubhouse as well as on YouTube. My name is Simon Javan Okello, and I'm excited to be here for another amazing session. We do this every single day, and the main reason why we do this is so that we can remember where we come from really as African people, but also so that we can make our ancestors proud and dissect African proverbs on a daily basis, so that we can deepen our understanding of our own culture and sharpen our African wisdom. And we've been doing this for over a year now. We started this in January of last year, and this is the second year of the daily African Proverbs happening consistently, and I am just so grateful that I am here. So I'm about to just add some of the topics that we are going to be discussing here on Clubhouse. And I'm just so grateful. And today we are discussing a proverb from South Sudan. And this proverb from South Sudan says that a fool will not even find water at the Nile. A fool will not even find water at the Nile. When you think about this proverb, what comes to your mind? A fool will not even find water at the Nile. I am going to pin this proverb on my Clubhouse profile page in just a moment. And also, if you're joining me on YouTube, I want to invite you to share with me what this proverb means to you. When you see this proverb, what is it that comes to your mind? A fool will not even find water at the Nile. This is a powerful proverb from South Sudan, and for me, when I look at this proverb, it reminds me of the beginning of a year, like right now. What is it that is out there that I should be paying attention to, and I might not be paying attention to it? A fool will not even find water at the Nile. What is it that is out there that is available for you who is watching this video today on the 3rd day of January 2022? What is it that is available out there for you that you might not be paying attention to? A fool will not even find water at the Nile. The River Nile is the source of life for so many people from very many countries across Africa, from Uganda, Ethiopia, South Sudan, where this proverb comes from, Egypt, Sudan. So when you look at this proverb and think about all the communities that are impacted by the Nile or that depend on the Nile, we learn that this proverb reminds each person that unless you are aware, this proverb is about awareness. Unless you are willing to heighten your awareness about your surroundings, you will not realize that you are probably sitting on the biggest opportunities ever. So that's what this proverb is teaching us, that you might be sitting on the biggest opportunity ever, but you can't realize it. You can't realize it because you are not just aware. So it says, a fool will not even find water at the Nile. So that is our proverb for today from South Sudan. And this is the daily African Proverbs happening here on Clubhouse every morning, and also happening on YouTube as we speak every single morning. And we are here really to help preserve African culture, one proverb at a time. One of my favorite things is always to hear what you also have to say about this proverb. So every day before I start this room here on Clubhouse and before I go live on YouTube, I make sure that I also share this proverb as a post across all my social media platforms. So if you go to my Instagram, which is at Okello Javan, or you go to my Twitter or Facebook, you'll find this same proverb that says, a fool will not even find water at the Nile. And I see that my brother Joseph is here. I hope that you had a beautiful holiday season and that you have a nice start to your year. I want to welcome Adriel and Pea Valley and Camille to also join us on stage and share your perspectives about this proverb. Joseph, I would love to hear your voice and your thoughts on this proverb just for a moment. Thank you so much.
Hi, Simon. Nice to connect back onto this club, and the holiday was wonderful. You know, we had some good time. Besides the hard working and at the same time enjoying our holiday, so it was really wonderful. And I'm happy to reconnect back to the daily proverbs, African proverbs, because we need to restore the culture. We need to restore the African history, and the daily proverbs, African proverbs, was always a way to reconnect with our roots. And just to respond to today's proverb, a fool will not even find water at the Nile. The message it's quite intriguing. It's triggering quite a number of things, because it's actually educative at the same time. It's proactive, or it's reminding you of what you should be able to do as a person, because through connectivity, through friendships, that is how you can be able to discover so many things. And if you are not helpful, you are not open enough to anybody, that means you will remain always a fool. That's why you cannot even find anything that is open to each and everyone. So opportunity come to those who are open. So a fool, when you are a fool, you will not have, or you will not see those opportunities. That's also the reasons why in today's people you are connected to, the more friends you have, the more better way of living your life can be. So to me, it speaks that through connectivity, through friendship, through families that you call families, brothers and sisters, those are the people who can be able to assist you. And if you intend to stay alone in this life, then believe me, you will not find anything. Nothing for you to ever work. It will always work, and then it's just bring the bridge against that you have to cross somewhere, somehow. So connectivity, family, dedications, that is what the today's proverb is speaking to me. I'm done speaking, and my name is Joseph.
Thank you, Joseph. I agree completely with you. You know, through building a network, through staying connected with others, and through realizing that the people around you are actually a part of you. By discovering that is also how you will discover that you're sitting on a lot of resources. You're sitting on a lot of resources. Earlier on, at the beginning of this conversation, I shared that the Nile is the source of life to so many people from across many countries in Africa. from Uganda, South Sudan, Ethiopia, Sudan, Egypt, quite a few countries depend on the Nile. And this proverb is reminding us that, yes, if you're a fool, you will not even find water at the Nile itself, So it's quite a profound proverb. But also for me, it's quite an amazing proverb, especially at the beginning of the year, because every year when we start a new year, we are always thinking about New Year's resolution. How are we going to make it through this year? What are some things that we can change in our routines, in our daily habits, in our diet, in our learning, And so this proverb reminds us that you might be seeking what you're already controlling, what you already have at your disposal. So I feel that this is actually a great proverb to begin the year with. Joseph, what do you think?
Simon, what you just said, the Nile is a source of life, and with life that we have, it's given and it can be taken. But as long as you understand how to live and how to appreciate everything that comes in life, I believe that Nile, it's gonna not be longer as we know as the longest river in Africa, but it's gonna be the short river, because everything that we do in our life today, it goes into a riddle form, and going into a riddle forms, it means that the people that you were with yesterday, they are not the people that you're gonna be with today. But if you maintain that source of life, you maintain that friendship that you have built or the connectivity that you have built, definitely it's going to be the same. So do not change your habits just because we said, okay, we are into a new year and let's start a new things afresh. The idea might be that we want to grow our dreams, we want to grow our own personal life, or we want to grow our life in general. But those who are connected to you, they will always be there. Although you make a new resolutions, new everything, but you have to remember that what is remained behind, it will be always a source of life for you. And that's your family, your friend, your loved one. Those are always gonna be there for you. So I have no New Year resolution this year. It's just to continue connecting with each and everyone and make sure that I'm always there for each and everyone when needed to. And that's because I believe that friendship or people that I'm going to be there for, those are my source of life. Those are the people that cannot let me down, cannot look at me as a fool when I'm looking for water. So that's what I have make sure that I'm gonna continue with for 2022. But Simon, definitely agree with you. So we just have to continue our movements and continue what we have been doing. I thank you.
You're most welcome. It's amazing how our family members, our siblings, our children, can actually stand with us even at the moment where we ourselves have so much self-doubt, have so much issues with our own self-esteem. And it's really amazing what you had to say there. But also when I look at this proverb, just in dissecting it a little further, and also in resetting the room for those who might just joined us, or those who might have just joined the YouTube live stream, the proverb we are discussing today is from South Sudan, and it says, "A fool will not even find water at the Nile." And typically when we gather here at 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, we dissect these proverbs and we learn from them. We hope that by the end of our conversation, we gain African wisdom and we go into our day proudly knowing that we know something new. It's the same feeling that you have when you read a new book and you have some knowledge that you are equipped with. You feel that you can contribute effectively to the daily discourse, whether it's at work or elsewhere. But this is a really, really sacred space for me, especially because African proverbs are like the entrance to the African wisdom portal, where through these proverbs we get to begin understanding the minds of our ancestors. What were they thinking when they left us with this proverb, and what can we do with it now that we have it at our disposal? And so this proverb about the Nile, that a fool will not even find water at the Nile, it also reminds us that the whole world that we live in today is much like the Nile. You know, the reason why the world is like the Nile is because there are unlimited opportunities in this world, but people are always kept in places or in cages or in poverty or in your zip code or in your country by the things that other people tell you, by the things that other people do to you, by the things that other people have done to you and your family and your village. And so you begin to believe that this is where I belong. But we forget that we are actually right by the largest amount of resources and opportunities that we could exploit for our own benefits and for the benefits of those that we love, you know. But because of all these things that are playing with our minds, because of the lack of clarity, we end up staying in the same place for a long time. And this proverb just reminds us that, hey, it's not just the Nile, it's the whole world, you know. And so as we begin this year, I want to encourage you, if you're here with us in the Daily African Proverbs on Clubhouse or on YouTube, I want to challenge you to imagine this world as the River Nile, and imagine yourself as, you know, some of the people that belong to the tribes that have always benefited from the River Nile. For example, myself, I am from the Luo tribe, and we originally came from the current, you know, Egypt, where Egypt is located currently, where South Sudan is located. I traveled to South Sudan a number of years ago and traced where my ancestors lived before we moved along the Nile to Kenya, where we currently live. And, you know, knowing that my ancestors literally traveled along the Nile and seeing how most of the countries along the Nile are also some of the most unstable. If you look at, you know, the global economy, if you look at the conflicts in Africa, some of these conflicts are primarily found along the Nile. And so if you think about it, you find that Ethiopia and Egypt are almost going to war because of the Nile, because of the Grand Renaissance Dam that Ethiopia is currently building. There is quite a disagreement between Ethiopia and Egypt, and Sudan is also involved, Uganda, you know, so there is a conflict also because of the Nile. And this proverb is also reminding the leaders who are fighting because of the resources that the Nile provides. This is a reminder that there is so much that there is no need for fighting. Everybody can have their share out of what is available. You know, this is what this proverb reminds us. So I want to invite you, if you're in the room, to join us on the stage and share what your interpretation is for this proverb. And I also want to invite you to ping in 3 to 5 people to join us for today's conversation here on Clubhouse. We are going to be here for another 40 minutes. This is a room that we host for 1 hour every single day. And I took a long break, you know, from mid-December. and until today. The reason why I took such a long break is because I needed to take care of myself. I needed to rethink about this daily African proverbs. I needed to build a stronger team behind it. I also have, a family member who is not doing well, that I had to create time for us to do a better job taking care of him. And I feel ready. I feel that, this is where I love to be, especially at this time of the day. I love to start my day in the daily African proverbs with my cup of coffee. For a long time, I was talking about making, coffee mugs for as part of our merchandise, and we just launched our shop a few days ago. So if you go to my Instagram profile, you'll be able to get to my website. You can also get to my Shopify shop, where you can get some of the, if you're watching on YouTube, you'll be able to see the beautiful One Vibe Africa mug that I have. And for those who know me, I'm the founder of One Vibe Africa, which is a non-profit organization that is serving the community here in Seattle, Washington since 2010 when I moved here, but has been active and serving the community in Kenya as well since 2008. And we are also active across the African diaspora, through the events that we organize, like Madaraka Festival. So for me, this is a village where we gather daily in the morning and we learn from each other. So I'm excited to hear what Adriel has to say about this proverb from South Sudan, and then we'll continue with our conversation. So feel free to join us on stage. Typically at 6:30 in the morning, I turn off this hand raising, and so in 7 minutes I will be turning off hand raising, but we will continue with the conversation until 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And again, if you want to join us tomorrow, please feel free and DM me if you want to be my guest on YouTube. You'll see that from tomorrow I'll begin hosting quite a number of guests here. And again, thank you for being here with us. Adriel, share with us your thoughts.
Greetings from United States. Here it's about almost 9:30. So I happened to find this room. I like to listen to positive things in the morning before I get started. Excuse me, with my day. Sorry, excuse me about that. So I've been listening to the proverb that even a fool will not find water at the Nile, and I think it's interesting. You know, so of course, I am not from the continent of Africa, and I am not a child of immigrants, but I am very interested in knowledge and wisdom that was lost um, through the diaspora, and I love to hear, the different sayings and teachings and just wisdom that's being passed even in the community. Um, and I like to hear, what's being said and kind of how maybe even this specific proverb, maybe that's not something that's circulating in the Bronx or um, or in maybe a community in the United States, but maybe how it's translated into to even our communities, where it's like, maybe each one reach one or something like that. Uh, but I've been listening to what you were saying about sharing knowledge, uh, tapping into the resources and being a resource and sharing what you have and allowing it to kind of flow like water, from one person to the next, and not hoarding information, resources, talent, gifts, services that you have to provide. So, that resonates with me, and that's definitely something I'm going to be applying. I do like to come up with loose resolutions in the new year, like kind of objectives and things that I can use to kind of like anchor my year and like measure if I've been successful or not. Like one of them is definitely self-care, like you said earlier, um, taking more time out to rest and not always work, work, work and fill in all the gaps possible at work, but sometimes actually stepping away and taking the time needed for myself to regroup, to recalibrate my thoughts, to spend time with family for sure. So yeah, that's really all I wanted to say, and thank you for sharing. I really appreciate the sharing of that knowledge and wisdom that you had there. That's all. Thank you.
Oh, you're most welcome, Adriel. Thank you so much for your beautiful thoughts and words of wisdom. And, something that stood out for me while you were sharing was that this proverb is probably not circulating in the Bronx or in the streets of the diaspora, where it's reaching, children of Mama Africa that left the continent in many different ways and are no longer in the continent. So that's why we do this. I'm also not in the continent. I'm not in Kenya, where I come from originally. I'm in Seattle, Washington. And I do this so that I stay grounded, in my culture, in my identity, because it's so easy to just lose your grounding when you live so far from the motherland, and also when you're dealing with daily challenges and daily, living in America, how it's like living in a machine. Earlier on, around 2011, 2012, when I had just moved to the US, I used to take a bus to work with an elder, a Kenyan elder who had been living here much longer than myself. So after commuting for a while together, and just looking at each other from a distance, we began sitting closer to each other, and I guessed where he came from, and I was right that he was from Kenya. And, over the weeks, I asked him how it has been for him to live here, for a long time, because he had told me how long he had been here, 20-something years. And, he told me this place is like a bakery. If you imagine being in a bakery, there is a conveyor belt that is conveying bread. After it's baked, it needs to be packaged and transported. And sometimes some bread fall on the sideway. Sometimes, this life here in America treats people as if you are on that conveyor belt, and once you're dropped off, people can step on you. And it was just so vivid the way he described it to me. And so for me, this Daily African Proverbs has been an excellent way for me to begin my days with my cup of coffee and with a little village, where we dissect these proverbs, we gain African wisdom, and then we go our way, which is also another African proverb in Kiswahili that says, tenda mema, nenda zako. Do good and then go your way. And so through this space, we've really cultivated so many relationships. We've used this Daily African Proverbs room to mobilize for the biggest Africa Day celebration last year, and we will be doing the same again. So it's just an amazing space, and I am the biggest beneficiary of it, if I may say that. So thank you again, Adriel, and also welcome everyone to the Daily African Proverbs. We do this every single day, 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I was just sharing earlier that I took an extended break from mid-December, and the plan was to come back today and continue with the Daily African Proverbs. For those who are just joining us for the first time, this is a space that everybody is welcome. It doesn't matter your religious background. It doesn't matter really your race. It doesn't matter who you are, how much you have in your bank account. What's important is we invite you to dissect these African proverbs and gain some wisdom. And I want to just quickly give a shout out to Chauncey. Chauncey, thank you again for being here. If you have a moment, come and share with us what your thoughts are about this proverb, and also what your thoughts are about this beginning of the new year. This proverb that we are discussing is from South Sudan. It says, "A fool will not even find water at the Nile." Share your thoughts, my brother.
Ooh, a fool. Could you give me a backstory? Is it just
Yeah, this is a South Sudan proverb, and it's a proverb that reminds us that you might be sitting on a large amount of resources, but you don't even know. And we've been listening to different interpretations of it for the last 30 minutes. And one thing that Joseph said that I can also share is that you need your community, and you need to stay connected with your community to understand the kind of opportunities around you. And so this proverb from South Sudan just reminds us that as we begin the year, we should look beyond ourselves, because just like the Nile, there are many people who live right by the Nile, and you find that they are considered some of the poorest people in the world. They are considered the countries along the Nile are also countries that are dealing with conflicts all the time, but at the same time they're living next to one of the biggest resources that the world has, the longest river in the world, and also a source of life for millions of people. So that's the center of our conversation.
So for me, a fool would not ever find water at the Nile. Will not even find water at the Nile. It's 100%. It's so funny. I was talking to my son last night, and we was driving. I was like, sometimes you don't realize the resources around you, and you don't use them the right way. You have access to everything around you, but you don't ask the right questions, or you don't use the resources the right way. So you can't maximize your abilities or opportunities or help yourself when you don't recognize what's around you, which is really important. And I think a lot of people don't do that in their lives. I don't think a lot of people don't do that in reality, that they don't use what's around them to its fullest ability. We just look at things and see things and touch things, but we just like, okay, we were there. It's like going to a concert and videotaping the whole concert. You're not enjoying the moment. You'll never get that moment back. It's a big difference in going to a concert and filming it, then sitting in the concert and enjoying seeing people smile and sing with you and laugh with you and touch and bump into you and do all the amazing things that come with that experience. And at that moment, you're freeing your soul, you're freeing your spirit, you're freeing everything. So I don't know if I went too deep, but I just wanted to give an example for me what that means.
Thank you so much, Chauncey. I'm grateful, for the story you shared with us, and also, the example of a concert. If you don't enjoy that moment, it's gone. You'll never experience it again. And also, I want to thank you for all the support you gave us with Africa Day. I was just using that as an example of how this room has been like the River Nile for many initiatives and opportunities and projects for many people. So thank you again. And I've always enjoyed your Instagram posts as well, because they are full of wisdom, just like these African proverbs that we share here every day. So I was also, sharing and encouraging everyone who is here with us today to take this proverb as, as also something that you could use for your New Year's resolution, and to heighten your awareness, because while we know that we are struggling, each of us is struggling in different ways, but we should also be aware that there are opportunities out there, and as long as you're willing to be in the right place with the right people at the right time, listen to the right conversations, you will find what you're looking for. So that's what this proverb is also reminding us about. I'm going to turn off hand raising in just a moment, but I want to invite you who is in the audience to join us on stage. so that you can share your perspectives. We are going to be here for another 24 minutes before we wrap up. And, I want to hear from Jacqueline so that Jacqueline can also share with us. Chauncey, go ahead. I think you have something to add.
Real quick, just look at your back channel real quick.
Thank you so much. I'll do that.
Why Jacqueline is talking. Sorry, Jacqueline.
Excellent.
Go ahead, Jacqueline.
Jacqueline, the mic is yours. Thank you so much, Chauncey. I'll send it right away. Thank you very much. I think Jacqueline is still new to Clubhouse, and she is, while she's figuring out, what to, how to unmute her mic. I just want to respond to something here. And then I want to invite everybody who is also in the room with us to, think about this proverb that we are discussing from South Sudan. It says, "A fool will not even find water at the Nile." And I also want you to know that I'm live streaming this conversation on YouTube. So if you tap the link at the top of the room, you'll be able to see my face and join me and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And then this conversation is being recorded for my podcast, which is The African Father in America, and that's the name of this club. So if you follow the club, you'll be able to be a part of our community and continue supporting this village that we have been cultivating over the last year. Said, thank you so much for being here. By the way, you're one of the people that have helped make this space what it is. Chauncey, I was able to respond to it. Let me know if you got it. Jacqueline, go ahead.
Excuse me. Am I unmuted now?
Oh yes, you
I didn't know.
You're audible
right,
now.
I didn't know how to do it. Thank you. Now I know. No, I just wanted to add that. Well, I work with severely sick people in hospice sometimes, and I already know that you already have all the resources that you need if you're healthy. Now we need money, so I'm the type of person now. I'm not um running behind money. I'm trying to keep myself healthy because if I keep myself healthy, then I can go make more money. So it's not all about the money all the time. Your health is more important than money. Believe me.
I totally believe you. And, many people haven't seen the Daily African Proverb since mid-December. And I got to a place where I was like, I want to enjoy this holiday season with my kids and wife and family. And also I want to figure out what the Daily African Proverbs is going to look like over the next year and into the future. So during this time that I took time off from doing this room every day, is no joke. There are many spaces on Clubhouse and online that happen every day, but you find that it's a team of people, it's a team of people that they generate revenue, they make money as they host events like this. And like you're saying, Jacqueline, money is not the number one priority in this space. The sacredness of this space and also the lasting relationships that we build on this space is what is the priority. For example, Chauncey, who was here, is African American, and we met on this app. Is working in the music industry, and he's working with a number of well-known celebrities and artists. And we didn't know each other before this app, but because he learned the value of the work that we do, he volunteered to help us with organizing Africa Day, which was a 24-hour event. Was very challenging to organize, but he volunteered his time, and now he has continued showing up, sharing his perspectives, and he just came to let me know that I was one of the people who are being honored for for some of the work that I've been doing on this app, and that's what brought him here. So he just wanted to get a little more information about me and to know whether this room continues to happen. So really, Money, like Bob Marley said, money is numbers. You can never count numbers and get to the end, even if you're given a chance to count all the numbers. By the time you finish, you'll be dead, you know. And so thank you again, Jacqueline. I am going to put you on mute for a moment so that we can hear, and unless you have something else to add, Jacqueline, go ahead before we hear from Said.
Oh, yeah. I don't want to minimize that we don't need money, because we do need money.
Oh
But
no, we do.
sometimes,
We
sometimes if
do.
you don't, sometimes if you don't appreciate what you have, and you don't never think you have enough, you will never have enough. Sometimes we have to get to our to point of saying we have enough. We have enough, and just strive to get more. Be content with what you have. Thank y'all.
Exactly. Yes, money is necessary, but it's not life and death. You know, it's not life and death. That's all I'll say. And Said, I want to hear your perspectives about this proverb from South Sudan that says, "A fool will not even find water at the Nile." And also, if you want to chime in regards to the money part of the conversation, feel free. Feel free. Thank you so much.
Yeah, sure, Simon. Thank you so much for having me again. It's Happy New Year, by the way. 2022. Here we are. It's been a long year with a lot of things, and thanks God for being alive again. You know, it's been amazing, great and worse things, and it's crazy. But before all, I just want to say also thank you, Simon, for this platform and the voice you gave me personally, and make me feel how do you say it? Make me feel welcome, to make me feel valued in this app since day one we connected, and I was looking at my last year and looking at people that I've met, people that have inspired me, people that have, add value to me. And then I was like, dang, this guy Simon is one of those guys when I look back and when I look at the consistency of, the daily African proverbs, even though I moderate and the founder of a room, honestly, I was just admiring your consistency and your hard working in this app, in which myself I couldn't, I couldn't. And then I was like, how does this guy do this? How does this guy do this with everything else? I couldn't really keep up day in, day in, day out. And, you caught up in travels and stuff, but I see Simon, you're there, you're positive, you just keep up. I'm like, dang, this guy is a machine. So you really inspire me. I want to say that first of all, before anything, that you really made me think how consistency and just like your ethic, your humbleness, your resilience is just like a top. I really appreciate you for who you are, and I think it's a great thing to look up to. I want to say that, and a happy New Year again. And as far as this proverb is concerned, it's crazy when you say river cannot even get water in a river Nile. I remember living in Jinja, where also the Nile River connects, and everybody, pretty much everybody knows they live close to the water and all that. And then I was just trying to connect the dots, like, are there people who might not even have maybe go to the Nile, maybe just check it out to see or anything, whatever. And then I just think sometimes, you might have something close to you, but you don't have that energy, or you don't have that a drive, or you don't just feel like it's important to you, even though it's important to you. Maybe you need somebody to take you there so you can get that water. Maybe that person might not necessarily be a fool. Maybe that person might just be ignorant, or maybe don't know how to. So the way I see it, for me, is just like some people sometimes need directions, and lack of that direction, they look like fools. And when we are willing to help those in that situation, or if we are in that situation and somebody is willing to to tell us like, hey, this is water, this is important, you can grab it, you can do this, you can do this opportunity, I think maybe some of the foolishness can be disappeared. So that's what I want to chime in for now, and I'm gonna be around. I'll chime in and out whenever necessary, and I appreciate to be here this morning. This is said, and I'm complete for now. Thank you, Simon.
Oh, you're most welcome, said. I'm grateful for your kind words. You know, it's not easy. It's completely not easy to do the daily African proverbs consistently. But what I believe is that this space, I believe it's a good space. It's a positive space. And I also know that there are so many negative spaces that are happening right now somewhere around the world. So, as someone who believes in creating positive spaces and coming up with solutions to problems and just doing my best, I have to do it every day. I have to figure out how to do it every day. And somehow, our ancestors, the Spirit, the Most High, gives me the energy and the wisdom to continue doing it, but also to build a network with people that continue holding me and helping make this space happen. You know, it doesn't matter how many people we have in this room every day. It's just important that we have a few people every day. And so when you're traveling, you find that that's around the time I connected with Joseph, you know. When you are traveling, that's around the time I connected with Mala, you know. And Roger is also here with us in the room. He's someone that has also been consistently attending this space. And you find that life is seasonal, you know, and we have to stay consistent no matter what the season is. And so some of us might be available in the winter, some of us are available in the summer. For me, my ambition is to continue making this available daily. And so there are several ways that everyone who is listening now can help. Number one, you can simply follow me on Instagram, where you can comment on today's proverb and you can engage with the content that I have there and learn a little bit more about me. Secondly, you can also subscribe to my YouTube channel, which I shared earlier with you, and I will be able to share it in just a moment as the link at the top of the room. And I'm actually live streaming this conversation, so if you want to subscribe to my YouTube channel and also, you know, comment on this proverb over there, that would be deeply appreciated. But then lastly, I have a shop now on my website and also on Shopify, where you can buy merchandise to support this work that we're doing with the Daily African Proverbs, as well as the work I do with One Vibe Africa and Madaraka Festival. You know, there are amazing items that we've been working on for the last few months, and we are adding more. So check it out. You don't have to buy anything. You can just leave a review. Just check out the items and leave a review, and I will deeply appreciate it. And again, here we are in the Daily African Proverbs. We do this to make our ancestors smile. We do this to make them proud. And we do this to preserve African culture. Our hope is that by the end of our conversation every day, we leave this space feeling a little bit empowered, feeling motivated, feeling confident that as we go into our day, you know, we've gained a little bit of wisdom to face the difficulties and the opportunities ahead of us. I was also sharing earlier that imagine you're in an African village, or if you have ever been in an African village and you've had a conversation with an elder, when you leave them, when you start walking and heading your way, you feel like you just interacted with something unusual, like you've read a book and you finished the book and you now have this knowledge in you. That's how I normally feel every time I leave the Daily African Proverbs. I want to now pass the microphone to Hayes Ngozi. Thank you so much for being patient and for joining us for today's session of the Daily African Proverbs. Share with us your interpretation of this proverb.
Good morning. Thank you so much for holding this space. Like, I just feel so good and enriched in here. Um, so the proverb, a fool will not even find water at the Nile. One of my favorite artists, Bob Marley, he has a song called Rat Race. And towards the end of the song, it says, in the abundance of water, the fool is thirsty. And I believe that's an interpretation from an Ethiopian proverb as well. Um, but I'm probably just gonna mirror a lot of what's already been said, but I just wanted to think about, you know, sometimes people feel like the grass is greener on the other side. Sometimes people look at others and they assume, they're better than them because of what they have. And, I always think about how one of my elders used to say to me, she used to say, you guys, you young people throw too much away too quickly. It's okay if a button falls off your shirt, sew it back on. You don't have to throw away the whole shirt, right? So I think about, like, instead of being mad at your shoes, maybe you don't have the newest shoes, but what you can do is you can go and get them shined. You can get the bottoms of them fixed, and it's like a brand new shoe. So sometimes we forget that things that we already have, if we just kept up with them and we focus on ourselves and focus on bettering ourselves and the world around us, we do have everything that we need. And sometimes we do have an abundance, but due to a lack of a spirit of gratitude or, living in gratitude, we can see it as less than or not enough. So I just wanted to share that. And again, Simon, thank you for this space. I already subscribed to you on the YouTube. So yeah, I just wanted to share that. I'm finished speaking.
Oh, thank you very much, Hayes. I'm grateful that you're here, and thank you for subscribing to my YouTube channel. And to everybody else who is in the room, welcome to the Daily African Proverbs. I want to encourage you to also follow the African Father in America Club here on Clubhouse, so that as we hold these conversations every day, you are a part of it. And now we are coming to the tail end of our conversation today, and I just want to thank you, Stephanie, for joining us, and Faline, Abdul, T, Afi, Chantriz, Davon, Mala, Fred, Roger, Flamingo, and of course on stage with me, Hayes and Sed and Joseph. Today has been an amazing time. We've been dissecting this beautiful African proverb from South Sudan. And if you're just joining us and you probably don't know what the proverb is the latest post on my Instagram. And you can get to my Instagram through tapping onto my profile and going all the way to the bottom. You'll find the link to my Instagram page. Please go ahead and comment there, share it, let me know what it means to you. And also join us tomorrow, 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We will be right here with another amazing proverb. It's already scheduled here on Clubhouse. And if you follow me, you should be able to just learn what it is in advance. And then join us tomorrow. Let's make this a great year together. And if you are a podcast listener, this conversation is going to be available in the next hour or so in the African Father in America podcast. I'm grateful. I'm really grateful. I do want to give Joseph a chance to share with us his closing remarks, because he was the first one here, and he's also an amazing brother that we host a travel room together with. Every Wednesday at 1:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, we host a room where we talk about hidden travel gems across Africa. So Joseph, speak about that and share your closing remarks as we end our conversation today. Okay, Joseph might be away from his microphone at the moment. I am truly grateful to all of you for being here with us. And we are going to wrap up for today. Tomorrow we will be here at exactly the same time for another session of the Daily African Proverbs. Thank you so much, and take good care of yourselves.
African father in America. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. African father in America. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze.
You are listening to African Father in America podcast by Simon Javan Okello, live from Seattle, Washington,